Alrighty, Edison staff. So this is a recording for me to show you how to pull a custom report and use your DOL tracker. So first and foremost, I'm gonna make sure that I have a copy of my DOL tracker up. I have created a new one that includes a column for your period, so you no longer have to delete that from your Excel spreadsheet once you download it. And I have also fixed the way that the weekly averages are calculated and the way that your final grade out of 100 is calculated. So the email that includes the email that includes this video will also include the link for the new tracker. And in order for you to distinguish it, I've put 2526 in front of it. So you know that it's the new one. Okay, so I'm gonna have my tracker up and ready to go, and I'm gonna go to OnTrack. So once I'm in OnTrack, I'm gonna go to Launchpad and I'm gonna click Reports. Once I'm in Reports, I'm gonna click Custom Report. And then once I'm in Custom Report, I'm gonna go to the top right corner and I'm gonna click Create New. So today I'm gonna be running two. The first one that I'm gonna run is an ELA, an ELA custom report. So once I'm here, I'm gonna read left to right. So the year should already be 25-26. Your assessment level is always going to be district because DOLs are district level. Your collection is just your subject. So the first thing I'm going to do is click all to unclick them. And then I'm just going to search for the subject that I'm going to run first. So for example, right now, I'm going to do read and write, which is ELA, and I'm going to choose to do seventh grade. Once I've chosen this subject should auto-populate to the subject that you chose under collections, which it does in this case, it just says RLA. And then I'm gonna refresh. Once you've refreshed, all of your DOLs are gonna show up in order. Remember, we are pulling these by week. So you're gonna have to remember what weeks fall within the week that you're trying to pull. So for example, if I was trying to pull for week 1, I would do from the 12th through the 15th. In this example, I'm gonna pull for week 2. And week 2 was the 18th through the 22nd. So I'm gonna click 18. If for whatever reason you click them out of order, it is completely okay. They will be in order once you click them on this right side. So 18, 19, 20, 21. Now, I remember if I'm an ELA teacher that this week we had extended LSAE, so I did not have a DOL for the 22nd. So if I pull 4, that makes sense. I only had a DOL from Monday through Thursday. Once I've chosen my DOLs that apply to me, I'm going to scroll down, and the only thing that I'm going to select is raw score. Once I've selected my raw score, ooh, and you know what I just noticed here is that they're not in order here. So if they're out of order, you can always just go to these 3 lines and drag them in the order that you want to. So 18, 19, 20, and then 21. So now that they're in order, I'm going to click the blue button. And the reason why I want to click this blue button is so that I can select period, because I want to be able to sort all my DOLs by period and by alphabetical order so that it makes it easy for me whenever I'm copying and pasting onto PowerSchool. Once I've selected the period, now I'm ready to save and run. And this is where your naming convention is going to come into place. I would just suggest that whatever naming convention you choose, you remain consistent so that it's easy for you to pull a report if you need to go back to it. So I'm going to do week 2, and I'm going to put DOL, and I'm going to put 7 RLA. But again, your naming convention is yours. You can choose whatever you prefer. Once it's ran, again, I'm going to go my filters left to right. My grade level should only be 7th grade. My course group, I'm going to select all to unclick them all. And the course group is just your subject and your academic year. So I'm running RLA. So I'm going to look for reading and language arts and the current academic year, 25-26. Once I've done that, your course should auto-populate to only 7th grade RLA. You do not have this option because you have a teacher-facing view, but because I have an admin view, I get to see all the teachers. So for this example, I'm just going to choose Ms. Brown. And then the period, I just want to make sure to check that I'm not selecting dyad periods or my second subject. So for example, Ms. Brown also teaches AOT. So I just want to make sure that I've selected Ms. Brown's ELA and not her dyads and not her AOT classes. Once I made sure that I select the correct periods, I'm just going to click refresh. And I'm going to let it auto-populate again. So here I go, 18, 19, 20, 21. Before I download, I want to go to this period box, and I'm just going to click it once. And I'm going to do this so that it puts my students in alphabetical order and by period. So if I scroll down, right now I'm in period 2, period 2, period 2, but eventually I'm going to hit period 4, you see, but I start in alphabetical order, period 4, and then eventually I'm going to hit her last period, which is period 6, but again, they're in alphabetical order. So once I've hit the period, now I'm ready to download. The download button is right next to this full screen. If you hover over it, you'll see download pop up. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to download in Excel. Once it's downloaded, it should push it up to your top right corner. Here in your downloads, I'm going to click it. And I know that I have the correct custom report because the first thing I should see is that naming convention that you chose before you ran it. So here, I'm just going to scroll down. I'm going to select the first last name that I see. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to choose everything to the right of that and everything below that. So you don't need your student ID. You just need last name, first name, period, and then whatever DOL's scores you have. Once I've selected what I wanted, I'm just going to right-click it and copy. I'm going to go to my DOL tracker that's already open and ready to go. I'm going to click on the first cell, and I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to paste. So again, this new one includes a period column, so you no longer have to delete this period column. And I think this will also help you because then like that, you know which kid is in which period, and you make sure that they're in alphabetical order. So here, the weekly averages should auto-populate. If for whatever reason they're not auto-populating, for example, this kid right here, Josue Duron, it is because this too, so these cells Monday through Friday should only include numbers without this little asterisk right here. So if your numbers include asterisks, they are not being calculated because it's technically not a number, it's a number with the text. And then that also lets you know as a teacher that this DOL included an open response question that you have not graded on OnTrack. And you will have to download that you will have to grade that in OnTrack before you download this custom report. So let me go to this kid. Who was he? Josue Duron. Like I can see that he was probably absent or something was going on. He wasn't here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't have data for him. And then on Thursday, he got 2 correct. There was an open response that I didn't grade. But if I still want to take that 2 into account, I can just go to the 2, delete the asterisk, and click enter, and it will calculate it for you. So again, if you have any numbers with little asterisks, you have to delete the asterisk. Otherwise, this column is not going to work for you because this column can only take numbers, not numbers and asterisks. So just something to take into account. Same thing with this child right here, Michael Bettis. He got a 4 and a 3, but it says 0 because these columns have asterisks. So if I go and I delete the asterisk on the 4 and delete the asterisk on the 3, then now it's calculating out to be a 70. But just be careful with these asterisks. Make sure that you're grading your open response question before you download your report. And if you need help with that, just let your AP know. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run another one just for practice. And this time I'm going to choose a math one. So again, I'm on OnTrack, Launchpad, Reports. I'm going to choose Custom. I'm going to go to my top right corner, Create New. Once I'm here, left to right, 25-26, correct school year. Assessment level is always going to be district. And my collection is my subject. This time around, I'm going to choose Algebra 1, actually. Algebra 1 DOLs. My subject should be mathematics because I chose Algebra 1. Refresh. Again, everything auto-populates in order. And I'm going to choose week 2. So week 2 was 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. The only thing I'm going to select here are my raw scores. And I can double check that they're in order, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Again, if they're not in order, you can just hover over the 3 lines and you can move it to whatever place you want to move it to. I'm going to click my blue button because my blue button is going to allow me to click by period. So again, I can sort alphabetical by period. Once I've done this, save and run. And then again, this is where your naming convention comes into place. I'm going to put week 2, DOL, and then A1 for Algebra 1. Click Save. Again, I'm going to we read left to right, so it should only be 8th grade. My course group, I'm going to click all to unselect them all. And because this is Algebra 1, this is going to be Math Algebra 1, 25-26. Make sure that you're choosing the correct school year. Your courses, after I chose my course group should already repopulate to just Math and Algebra 1. Mr. Blocker is only teacher, and then I'm going to check my periods so that I am only selecting his Algebra 1 periods. So I'm going to look for Mr. Blocker and A1, A1, and he has 3 periods now. Yeah, those are the 3 periods that he has, so I'm going to refresh. So once I've selected only the periods that I want, then I'm going to go over and hover over this green period, and I'm going to click it 1 time so that it sorts them in alphabetical order for me by period. Once I've done that, I can now go next to full screen to the download button, and I'm going to download in Excel. Once it's ready, it's going to auto-populate on your top right corner. Just click it. And again, you know that you have the correct custom report because the first thing you should see is that naming convention that you chose for that custom report. So again, the only thing I need to do is go to my first last name, choose everything to the right and everything down. So once I've selected everything that I need to, again, you don't have to delete column D anymore because the new DOL tracker includes a column for that. I'm just going to right click, copy, go to my DOL tracker that I have ready and open, go to the first cell, right click it, and paste. And again, the period column is there, so you don't have to delete that. I can just expand it, and I should be able to see everybody in alphabetical order by period. Okay. So, um, yep. Again, the weekly averages have been fixed. So even now, these numbers like 4.666 should give you an equivalent grade. So now all you're doing is opening up your PowerSchool and copying and pasting in alphabetical order and by period. And that is it. If you have any blank ones, that just means that you don't have a record. So maybe that student was absent or they left early, whatever the case might be. He doesn't have, I don't think he has data here because this is a new period based on the changes we made on Friday. But here we go. That is it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me or any of your grade level APs. Thank you so much for watching.